Coming up on The Potter's Touch.
God said life is calling you out of hiding, calling you out of fear, and calling you out of insecurity, and calling you out of small-mindedness, and calling you out of your timidity, calling you out of your comfort zone, calling you out of the safe places you have built for your dysfunction. God said, I'm calling you out of those places because your destiny is never in your shelter.
This is the Potter's Touch.
I'm excited, I'm delighted, I'm blessed you're here. I've been waiting on you. Where you been? I got something to share with you that I'm excited about. I want to release some truths out of the series Instinct that I believe will bless your life. This particular message is called In Between Places. Where do I go from here? So many people are stuck today. They just can't figure out what to do next. What do you do when you are in between places? If that resonates with you, don't touch that dial. Watch this. I've learned whenever I'm getting ready to rebuild, I pull that quote and put it up from my book. When I have an instinctive idea, it will die in the crib if I don't bring a team around it that has similar instincts to increase, but diverse perspectives of influence and contribution. Your ideas will die in the crib if you don't build a team around it who has a similar instinct to increase, even though they have diverse perspectives. Crib death. Crib death, because I had the wrong nannies. I had the wrong nannies. I had the wrong midwives. Surrounding myself with people who do not have the instincts to collaborate on your new surge of life. And so what I'm saying to you is that when you have an instinct to do whatever it is you're going to do, you need to build a team around you who has similar instincts but different talents. Most people encircle themselves with a team of people who are just like them. We all get together, but when you're gonna build, and I want you to write this down, a team for the task. A team for the task. You want to build a team for the task. Wherever your instincts are about to take you, you need some midwives around you to birth that new dimension of where you're going, who can contribute different talents to what you instinctively sense the second half of your life or the second half of your career or the second moment in your life needs to look like. You get the idea in your instincts and you protect the idea by the team you put around it. And the reason I'm teaching you a team for a task is that you insulate what your instincts have intuitively chosen by the team you put around you. They insulate what is about to happen next in your life. That one point is worth coming here this morning, okay? Because the reason your ideas keep dying, it may not mean that they're not good. It may be that you've got the wrong midwives. When I think about midwives, I think about Moses. And when you think about Moses, you think about an interesting thing. There was a point that Moses had no name. He was just the baby. He was just a baby. He didn't have a name. If you think about it, you think about his life for a minute. Moses didn't have a name until another woman got him. The mother that birthed him didn't name him. Look, put up Exodus 2. Let's take a look at this. Y'all with me this morning? Yeah. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi, verse 2. And the woman conceived, we got a man and a woman. We know where they come from, but we don't have any names. And the woman conceived and bare a son, and when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. We don't have a name. He has no identity. He has no identity. He's just a child hidden. And everything you start and every instinct you have and every idea you have is like Moses. It starts out no name, no brand, no respect, nothing. Moses has no identity. He has no influence. And he has no inspirational purpose. He has no name. He has no identity, no influence, and no inspiration. He just exists. Could that be you? You just exist. No inspiration, no influence. Influence is leadership. Leadership is influence. Influence is leadership. I'm in control of nothing. I got no inspiration and I got no identity. You got to realize that Moses lived for 3 months hidden in the house. And when I thought about it, the Lord sent me to ask you, what's hidden in your house? Instincts are babies hidden in your house that don't have names yet. Inclinations, drawings, pullings, wooings, half-born concepts hidden in your house that you haven't formalized, that you haven't empowered, that you haven't given a name yet. Isn't it funny how sometimes you have an idea or an instinct for something that it's going to take somebody else to name? You have the creativity to birth it, but you may not have the insight to name it, empower it, and nurture it, take it to the next level. Everything you start doesn't mean you finish. But how will it ever be named or funded or discovered if it's not exposed? You may be, I'm telling you, you're hiding your own deliverer. Moses' mother was hiding her own deliverer. She was hiding the very one she'd been praying for. She'd been praying, God, send a deliverer to set me free, and hiding the deliverer God had sent. I'm wondering, what are you sitting on? What are you holding? What's inside of you that you've been praying on? Lord, I need some resources. I need you to open up a door. I'm backed up in a corner. I'm shoved against the wall. And I'm wondering if you're hiding your answer in your house. Because most of the time that people prayed for things, God didn't send outside things. He just exposed what was already in the house. Oh God, that's so good. He exposed a handful of meal that was already in the house. Samson was getting ready to fight the Philistine. He said, use that jawbone of an ass that's right by your feet. You understand what I'm talking about? One woman is about to sell her son. She's in so much debt. And he says, use the pot of oil that's in your house. And instincts is about rediscovering what's in you. Listen, you spent all of your life appreciating what was in other people. Looking at other people and saying, oh, that's so wonderful. Look what he's got. Look what she's got. And even helping other people to birth their dreams and accomplish what they got. But you will never enjoy the life that Christ came to give you until you discover what is in your house. What do you have? I'm tired of you being a cheerleader for everybody else's accomplishment while you fail to value and appreciate what God has put in your house. Oh my God, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody. Touch 3 people, say it's in the house, it's in the house, it's in the house. 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 And sometimes you have things inside of you and they are in the house and they are hidden from view. And how do you expect people to empower what you will not expose? If you've got the instinct, if you've got the inclination, how do you expect somebody to value it enough, to invest in it enough, to get behind it enough if you won't expose what you got? And in order to expose what you got to believe in what he put down inside of you. I'm talking to somebody, it's in your house. Touch your neighbor and ask them, do you have the instinct? Do you have the instinct? While I'm talking about Moses, I want to say a little bit more about Moses' name means drawn out. That's what Moses means. Moses' name means drawn out. It means drawn out. He didn't get his name until Pharaoh's daughter is bathing down at the riverbank and she looks in and sees the baby Moses floating in a little bamboo ark that was made to float him down the Nile, because when his mother got him out of the house, she put him in an ark and floated him down the river, and Pharaoh's daughter was bathing in the river and she looked out and saw the ark and said, bring the baby to me, and they drew him out of the water and said, I'll call his name Moses because he's drawn out. But I think it's such a play on terms, because Moses' name means drawn out, but he was drawn out of the womb and then drawn out of the water and then drawn out of the palace and then drawn out of the wilderness. And I began to realize that life is a series of being drawn out, being drawn out, being drawn out. And I don't know if this makes any sense to you or not, but God said life is calling you out. Calling you out of hiding, calling you out of fear, and calling you out of insecurity, and calling you out of small-mindedness, and calling you out of your timidity, calling you out of your comfort zone, calling you out of the safe places you have built for your dysfunction. God said, I'm calling you out of those places because your destiny is never in your shelter.
Still to come on The Potter's Touch.
Tell your neighbor, I got the instincts, I got the instincts, I got the instinct. I don't have the house, but I got the instincts. I don't have the job, but I got the instincts. I don't have the money, but I got the instincts. I haven't met the woman, but I got the instincts. I haven't married the man, but I got the instincts. I got the instincts. I may not be pregnant, but I got the instincts. I got the instincts to be what you cannot see. It's in me before it falls out of me. It's in me before it falls out of me.
MegaFest 2015 is more than a festival. It's an experience.
This is MegaFest.
From August 19th to the 23rd, MegaFest is taking over Dallas, an extravaganza for the whole family.
And 100% pure fun.
There is something for everyone. Visit mega-fest.com to find event updates and to make reservations. This experience is one you don't want to miss.
Your destiny is never in your shelter. A shelter is always for a season. Whether it's a shelter from the storm, or whether it's a shelter of a womb, or whether it's a shelter of a cocoon, it is only for a season until you can be drawn out into something bigger than what you were protected in the first day. Do you hear what I'm saying? Moses was protected in the womb until he was drawn out into something bigger, which was the house. He was protected in the house for 3 months, and then he was taken from the smaller thing into the bigger thing. He was drawn from the house into the river. Then he was drawn from the river into the palace. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. He's drawn from the palace into the wilderness. And I'm telling you, in between every struggle, every torturous, barbaric, hideous thing you have ever been through, God is not trying to kill you. He's trying to draw out what he placed inside of you. Your name is Moses. Your name is Moses. Your life is Moses. And he keeps trying to draw you out. And I don't know about you, but anytime God draws me out of what I'm comfortable in, I generally don't like it. I generally don't like it. And I can't even tell you why I don't like it, other than the fact that I'm not used to it, and it's out of my comfort zone, and I want you to just leave me alone. Let me stay in here where I understand this life that I got right now. And if you take this away from me, oh, no, what in the world am I gonna do? And he's steadily drawing you out. And you have to trust him that he always takes you from the lesser to the larger. From the lesser to the larger. You're getting ready to go from the lesser to the larger. This is out of my book, Instinct. Transitions are usually challenging, but what is exciting is that though we often resist, complain, become irritable, and cry like babies, we do so because we have the confusion of being unsettled and forced to discover new skill sets. Yeah, we are forced to discover new skill sets, forced to use apparatus that did not fit within the system that we created to protect our vulnerabilities. I'm forced to speak, and you know I don't like to talk in front of people. I'm forced to care, and you know I don't like to engage emotionally with anybody. And anytime you are forced, but if you're gonna follow your instincts, you gotta be ready to cry. Because the sound of birthing is always the sound of crying. You will know the baby is alive when you hear him cry. He cries because he is now converting from one system of sustenance to the next, and in between every system of sustenance, there will be sorrow. He will weep when you cut the cord. He will weep when you take the bottle. Anytime your sustenance source changes, there's always weeping. I'm headed somewhere. So somebody in this room, instinctively I share with you, God's not killing you, he's weaning you. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it. But trust him. It's going to require, put my quote back up here, that you discover new skill sets. It's going to require that you incubate for a while and develop what's inside of you so that you can discover what you got. Moses could have never become a great leader as long as he was hidden in his mama's house. He had to discover new skill sets by going through new challenges and situations. In fact, he had to spend 40 years in the wilderness discovering new skill sets, finding out who am I outside of what they taught me. Do you know how much courage it takes to change? To the courage it takes to give up the way in which you protect yourself. To take the bottle away from a baby, do you know how bad that night is gonna go? But you will never discover your underutilized skill sets in comfort. Your skills, your instinctive skills are developed in all kinds of crazy stuff. For example, okay, so God incubates the deliverer of the children of Israel. He incubates him in the house of Pharaoh. Let's take a moment and talk about the children of Israel. God takes Jacob and Joseph and their kids and cousins down to Egypt, 70 people, and puts them in Egypt to incubate a family into a nation. He uses slavery to hatch a nation. Whenever something goes in and it is being hatched, it will always be bigger when it comes out. They went in 70 people or so. They came out, some people say as high as 2 million came marching out after they had been incubated. What comes out is always bigger than what came in. So if you know that's true about life, and you know that's true about babies, and you know that's true about the children of Israel, and you know it's true about Moses, because what came out in Moses was much bigger than who he was when he started. He was born a slave. He was born a slave, and yet when he comes out of it, he comes out of it a conqueror and a leader. If you know that's true about all of them, then what are you thinking about you? What are you thinking about you? Do you realize that what's coming out is bigger than what went in? My God, that makes my teeth quiver in my jaws when I think about me being on the verge of something awesome. If I can just survive the incubation of going from this to that, then I'll find out who I was created to be. Take a look at this. I want to go to my video. You got a cocoon. And the struggle in the cocoon is I got to get into the highest and best expression of myself. If you could hear the worm in the cocoon and say, you know, I've been crawling around here, but I think there's something else inside of me. And when this process is over, I'm coming out with my wings. I was the only worm crawling around on the ground singing, I believe I can fly. Couldn't understand why I kept thinking about it every night and day, all in my head and in my thoughts. You know what have you been thinking about every night and day that's so opposite of your situation and circumstance and looks totally ridiculous? I've been incubated by adversity. I've been incubated by adversity. I've had to grow. I've been growing in my groaning. I've been growing in my groaning. Can I tell you, I've been growing in my groaning. I've grown in my groaning, in my adversity. They said about Israel, it was good for us that we've been afflicted. It says the more they afflicted them, the more they grew. I've been growing in my groaning. That's what's going to break me out of the cocoon, because I'm too big to live in this little sack you have me in. My thoughts are too big to be locked up in this same little sack that you have me in. I know there's something else in me. I know I'm crawling on the ground, but I can't help, even though my body's on the ground, my mind's in the air. I believe I can fly. I got the instincts before I get the wings. I got the instincts before I get the husband. I got the instincts before I get the career. I got the instincts before I open up the business. I've always had these instincts, even when I was crawling on the ground. I haven't met the woman, but I got the instincts. I haven't married the man, but I got the instincts. I got the instincts. I may not be pregnant, but I got the instincts. I got the instincts to be what you cannot see. It's in me before it falls out of me. It's in me before it falls out of me. It's in me before it falls out of me. Out of your belly. I got to stop there. It's been a real joy to just begin to discuss with you what I believe is really eating at the craw of so many people who feel like I'm in between places. I'm in this nebulous, indescript, indefinable place in life, and it creates such loneliness because you feel like nobody knows where I am. I get it. I get it. We all get to a place where there's nothing else to learn and nothing left to gain, and we feel stuck, and we need to go to the next place, and we don't know how to get there. That's one of the reasons I'm doing my International Pastors and Leadership Conference, because I want to get people moving into the next level, the next realm, the next place, the next challenge that God has for them. You ought to really think about it. I know you don't normally go to conferences, but you ought to break your normal. Come on and meet me April 30th through May the 2nd in Orlando, Florida, and come expecting to move forward. It's for global thinkers. Are you one? Before I die in a cage, I want to run in the wild.
To understand what it is to be a pastor.
They can hear the life-changing message that and the education.
You're frustrated about something that's just an incubator to take you to the next dimension.
Now we're going to grow and go to global missions. No more limits, no more boundaries.
To register for this international gathering, visit pastorsandleaders.org or call 1-800-BISHOP2.
Religion always gazes at where it last saw God, but relationship moves beyond history to destiny.
Bringing resurrection power to your stagnant situation. Purpose in motion.
God only asks you to pray to bring you into agreement. He doesn't ask you to pray so that he can get information. What do you know that heaven is unaware of?
For your gift of any size, you will receive the God Has Moved On CD from the Purpose in Motion series. And for your gift of $75 or more, you will receive the Purpose in Motion 3 DVD set.
It's not just that you have a testimony, you are a testimony. Anybody been through what you've been through and you still alive to tell it?
However, for your gift of $160 or more, you'll receive the Purpose in Motion series on DVD, large print Bible, and an everyday reminder of God's faithfulness. It's time to move forward. Put your purpose in motion.
New concepts and new ideas are coming out of you. You're going to be able to live and love and laugh and build and stretch forth out of this in-between place where you've been stuck. You got wings. You still got wings. I know you had to fight yourself through a lot of stuff. It was nothing but a cocoon. It was just a gym where he strengthened you. So you, in this season of your life, this is your flying time.
This is the potter's time.